Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we continue with our coverage of the World Championship. Yamato, where is your suit? Well, it's fucking hot. It's hot in this room. It's really hot, and I don't want to mistreat my suits like that, just sweating them to please other people, man. Fuck that. I wear suits when it's time to wear suits, and already at my home I don't need to wear a suit to be in my element. What the hell? Okay, Kuyar, make some noise. Thank you so much for subscribing, you weirdo. God bless you. You get to be in the video. Enjoy. Enjoy.
How flexible they are to send just about anything into
okay.
In the bottom. Exactly.
G2 Esports. G2 Esports. G2 Esports indeed. With the Nautilus ban and then the Gragas first pick. So right now, Zaya is banned, Kaiser's in the picture. This is G2 lining up for a motherfrickin' Gragas Yasuo. That's what's up. There's no other way to see this. FPX needs to lock in Kaiser here. It's very important. Need to lock in Kaiser and then maybe Rise. But Rise, need to think about Yasuo. Also, something we need to keep in mind is Akali. Akali's in the picture. Akali's a great champion. I hope G2 remember Akali's in the picture. Because I forgot Akali's in the picture. But you guys are playing the World Finals. You need to remember shit. I'm just talking. Kaiser Rise. This is a rotation we've seen many times. Has to be Yasuo, right? Yasuo Syndra. Yasuo Syndra is out. Maybe something else you can flex. There's nothing else that you can really flex between mid and bot. I guess there are things, but nothing that is useful. I think Syndra is the AP champ to play. But FPX are banning it. The same way SKT is banning it. Yasuo, just lock in Yasuo. Stop teasing us. Also, Yasuo is so good into Rise. It's not a big deal. Oh! Down. That's cool. Happy. Excuse me. That sound was not so pleasant to listen to, I imagine. Okay, listen. Listen with the kicks. Tian. Clutching those fights, man. Tian. What you did to them was nasty, man. You're on European soil. And you embarrassed G2. Embarrassed G2. Absolute slaughter. But G2 now have a very cool composition here, first 3 picks. Their draft to deal with Nautilus didn't work so well. Olaf keeps getting banned, even though I think it's not the greatest pick for G2. Here G2 have the option of doing some second wave support bans, but FPX have last pick, so let's see now. GP ban gives Akali top flex a bit more pressure. Now the question is, G2, do you play Camille mid? Do you play Camille mid? Because imagine they pick Camille and Sejuani here. Imagine G2 locking Camille Sejuani. Oh my goodness, if they lock in Camille Sejuani. And then they have the double flex, they have the triple melee composition, Sejuani good into Lee Sin, and then G2 can take a Sejuani skin for the World Championship skins. Is a Mordekaiser game for FPX. Maybe they will Mordekaiser 4th here. Gamegun definitely wants to play Mordekaiser. Kled, ooh. What the hell? What? Okay. I just picking Kled to match Akali, I guess. Kled's Q reveals Akali's stealth. But where does this Rise go? Kled is also pretty decent into Yasuo into lane. Kled should definitely win that lane matchup. Yanko's looking like a question. Oh, Tristani. Double flexing. Double flexing. Gragas support. Tristana can go bottom. Elise lock in. Good damage mix here from G2 Esports. And then the Rakan last pick to pick into Gragunia. Okay, so it all depends on what you think is going into bottom, but most likely Tristana is going mid here. Tristana is going mid, and then Yasuo is going bottom. Rakan is super good into Yasuo. It's a good denial pick. Team compositions honestly look quite even. This is Akali blind pick top. She knows she's going to play against Kled or Ryze. Wonder plays a great Akali. Let's see if it's going to work here against Gimgoon. Gimgoon has been in tip-top shape the last 2 series that he played. Meaning this one and the previous one against IG. And that's a big confidence booster if you can be the better top laner in a matchup against the Shy. So we compare these 2 drafts. Kai'Sa, Rakan. Honestly, bottom, I think Gragas Yasuo should win. FPX is going to scale super well on bottom though. And we'll have to see how G2 use this pry on bottom to do anything, because last game bottom was quite inactive. They didn't do much. Perks on Tristana was something that, caps on Tristana was something that G2 of course banned. G2 banned Tristana when they blind pick Ryze, and Tristana is a good matchup into Ryze. We've seen some Ryze players adapt with an exhaust, for example, but Ryze with no TP makes him inherently a lot worse. Doinby probably going to itemize much better. Either he's going to itemize for mobility, and then eventually into heavy AP items that gives you the best of 2 worlds. Not some fucking whack G2 caps build or G2 wonder build, because these builds honestly make me sick. That we've seen so far. Elise should have priority early game, and I think Akali, Kled is going to outskill in this matchup. Elise can definitely help that, but then if Kled itemizes Mercury or whatever, all of a sudden it's going to get a lot worse. But Tristana has the option of laning there, so I feel like all across the board G2 has more options in this early game to play into things. They have very, very strong lanes, and FPX don't have similar tools here to roam the same way we've seen in the past. And here, you can't send Kled into Tristana mid. That's just not going to happen. It's going to be shit, and that's why Kled has to go top. So here, I think FPX are going to be very limited. If Ryze gets prio somehow, of course, then all things are going to be good, but it's going to be difficult against the Tristana. Tristana Elise 2v2 is much better than Ryze, Lee Sin early, and they need to look for level 6 and then one-shot Tristana or something like that, but even that is super, super hard. Tristana is super good into Ryze. It's just that the EW is super predictable, and you can W out always, and you can get away from any type of ganks. You can play aggro. I really like this matchup. Surprised by how little Tristana we saw in this tournament, because I think Tristana is one of the best mid laners in the game. So a lot of high tier picks here for G2. FPX, if they can get to certain breakpoints in their matchups where, for example, Kai'Sa, Rakan don't get punished too hard. Kled is going to start beat Akali in the side lane. Ryze and Lee Sin can reach level 6. Then they have options, but I think G2, definitely, they have the better draft in my eyes. Team fighting is going to be relatively easy for them too. They have engage tools, they can access the backline. Okay. Galio serves a very similar purpose here to Rakan. The lane is slightly better, but the fact that, Yasuo committing, let's see if Yasuo is going to play cleanse this game. Yasuo committing into a Galio is very difficult, and Kai'Sa Galio, I like it. Some global tools here that have been something that has been tough for G2 to deal with. Every time there's a global like a Shen or a Galio ult, then G2 have a hard time keeping track of it. So we'll have to see how this develops. G2 putting FPX in a position where they have to pick Kai'Sa, and that's probably better, because I think the Varus Tam meta for Fan plus Phoenix is something they are very happy to play. That looks pure, I want to say pretty and beautiful. That's why I said beautiful. That looks very pretty. Alright. Game number 2. G2 need to clean up their play. They had a good draft last game. Honestly, good draft last game with a lot of tools to find. They found prio in situations where I thought they wouldn't get prio. They itemized very poorly on Rise. Wunder was getting caught super much. Honestly, I feel like I could have a better Rise performance than what Wunder had this game. Sure, he got bullied a lot in the early game, but that doesn't justify all the shit he did, you know? Doesn't justify all the shit he did. Oh, he got camped. Don't be. That's what I'm expecting in the comment section. But he made a lot of mistakes. Mickey got caught, but not as much as Wunder. And Wunder's build, honestly, disgusting. Really awful. Oh, Gimgoon. We have the Ignite against Exhaust in the mid lane. There's going to be fireworks, baby. I'm going to go all the way over here. I want to see, you guys want to see the camera reactions. This is the World Finals, man. When I talk about cooldowns, just trust me. I wouldn't lie about cooldowns. It doesn't make any sense. If I would lie, it would be something about something that's beneficial. Like, I have a huge boat that just is anchored over at the Berlin harbor. I don't even know how that lie is beneficial, but at least it's better than lying about cooldowns. Okay. Doibi. Let's put in a weaker matchup here. Caps has the advantage that he has Elise. Always the team with Elise has an advantage. Gimgoon, shaking. Trying to match Mickey X's shaking. Akali is very strong level 1. Akali can definitely fight back in this matchup. It's not like it's super doomed for Akali. Just the fact that ganking is quite easy for Lee and Kled. And if Kled snowballs, he can itemize MR, and it gets pretty hard for Akali. For those who don't know, if you have a play against Yasuo bot lane, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you slow push. You slow push. Because Yasuo level 1 is very weak. Very weak level 1. He can't really all in. And if he gets level 2 before you, he's going to all in you. You want to stack a big wave. That's the route. Cap says W, but good movement. Saves the W, and he just walks up and he's in no trouble at all. FPX here managed to bounce the wave a bit too early, and you know, you want to make the wave crash on the cannon wave. So you have a super big wave getting into the turret, and that you deny G2 level 2 here. But all of a sudden here in this position, they get level 2 for free. They're very healthy. Potion is up, and now they can contest. This is very awkward for FPX. They can't walk up too far. Lee was on bottom side as well. I think they could have stacked this wave better. You want to make the wave bounce on 3, and you have all the time in the world to set it up. Sometimes you have to respect jungler, but look at Lee Sin's position here. He's going into bottom, he's going to be level 3. He's going to match Elise's timing. I don't like this. This is what I think is a mistake from FPX's bot lane. And this is something that comes with experience playing against Yasuo. You know, you want to make it bounce, and now the thing is, since they didn't make it bounce on Cannon, it gives G2 a good position to look for an all-in, and they're going to pressure now. FPX are going to make the wave bounce and then make it freeze in the middle, and then G2 are through the phase that is super hard for Yasuo bot lanes. Doinbi could potentially get dove. I thought here maybe they can threaten dive, because honestly they can one-shot Rise. They can easily one-shot Rise, and then here it's also a winning position. Doinbi played his lane as if he has TP, but he has no TP. And Doinbi is walking back into mid lane now. This is not a cannon wave. He's going to lose a couple of CS, and he buys no boots. This is very beneficial for Caps. Doinbi legit played his lane as if he has TP, and then he realized he doesn't have TP, which is something that happens. Very common you play TP, and Gimgo should have an okay trade here. Conqueror is on. Press the attack got procced. Tian going through bot lane now. Perks has exhaust, no cleanse that we talked about earlier. FPX managed to freeze here in a good position, but the cannon wave is going to break this, no problem. And the access here is super easy. If G2 is on the wave and CSing, then they can get in trouble. Don't be hovering into bot side, at least just covering to make sure. Don't be going for another base. I think it's just buying boots. Or maybe a pink even. I don't know how much gold he gets from this. Boots. Sells Fairy Charm right away. Loses some gold there, gets boots and walks into lane. And Jankos has honestly wasted his time. I think Doinby squeezed in this base because he's just afraid of Jankos on the next wave, and it's a very, very good read. Because yeah, sometimes you might question people's bases, but it's better than standing around doing nothing when you have to respect the leads. Jankos has used this time to take full control of the top side, and it makes it a very easy read for Yasuo and Gragas to just know, okay, Elise has full control of the top side, Lee Sin has to be bottom side, we have to respect the lane ganks, because that's what Tian is doing here. He's just doing lane ganks, lane ganks, lane ganks, so it's very hard to keep track of him through vision. This time around, Elise plant, took the scrying orb, he spotted Tian, and this is Jankos' complete domination in the jungle here, but it helps so much that the mid matchup is so good. The mid 2v2 is super, super good, and G2 are using this mid 2v2 prio to actually pressure the map a lot. Very, very well done. G2 kicking it into gear in the early game here. FPX trading back very well, and the Biscuits feel so trash. I feel like they've been nerfed so hard, and now Crisp with his spells, no Aftershock on Mickey. Exhaust was used. FPX is super happy to back away. One summoner for nothing. Mickey could have potentially gotten one-shotted there if the exhaust didn't come down. But there's wind wall too. Have to keep this in mind when you calculate damage. Excuse me. So I'm still a little bit sick, you know. Got the aftershock of a cold. And a bit too early to do Drake, I think. Wunder doing quite well for himself in this matchup. Wunder Akali is a very, very high level Akali, honestly. And Akali is a champion that we all love to see. I don't know what the skin is. This skin looks new. Is this true damage Akali? Oh! Oh! Holy wait, the girl from G Idol, or whatever her band is called, that was in the KDA song, Akali is her champion always now? That's so insane, man. Akali is a cool champion to be. Like, as an artist, she's always going to be Akali. That's super cool. Super, super cool. Just realized. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe that's not true damage Akali. I'm not so, you know, engulfed in all of this. Okay. G2 maintaining mid 2v2 prior, but no big moves are happening here for G2. They need to start to look to pressure dives, maybe look to pressure the Skeleton that is getting harassed a lot by the Akali in the top lane. Wunder's playing this matchup really, really well. G2 using their mid prior to pressure into bottom, taking Infernal, that works too. As long as they're making progress. They need to make progress, because if the game becomes stale, FPX is going to find opportunities, because G2 are very prone to make mistakes. Jankos is very low HP, FPX, Crisp is walking in here, Flash gets a taunt on Tristana, Tristana very low HP, one hit, he's dead, Tian is very low HP, Barrel lands, TP Kled, Wunder is here too, has ult, but this is a very bad fight for G2 and they need to back off. Okay, FPX. Speaking of windows of opportunity, they look for the fight. Crisp, very strong on this Galio so early in the game, catches Tristana that has everything up, and Caps is trading HP here for no reason with Tian. He gets Q'd and then Rise Q's. Actually, the Rise Q doesn't land, he was just a bit low HP from before. And then Crisp gets entry, it's almost as if Caps doesn't see him here. And then the taunt lands and Tristana gets one-shotted here, one-shotted. And then Mickey goes for Tian to cancel any potential steals. G2 look for the kill, but this means that FPS get a triple kill. And also the pressure afterwards. So FPX very, very good at finding opportunities to fight always. Always looking to fight. And they are choosing their moments so good. Here the dragon is doing so much damage and Jankos is already out of the fight. This is FPX taking a 4v5. Because Elise is not a part of this. And then very quickly with Chris' play here, it became a 3v4. So yeah, Caps has flash, he has W. It's very easy to get out of Galio nowadays because you can't W flash. So the fact that Tristana dies so easily is a problem. I think here, if you look at Tristana's play here, maybe if she just fucking commits with her team, like imagine she flashes right here now and they've hit Tian together. This is game winning. Jankos has no smite as well, which is pretty troll, all things considered. But here, if Tristana goes over the wall, I think it's a winning fight for G2 because they would kill Tian and they would kite in one direction and Akali would be here. Gimgun TPs. Oh, I didn't even realize the fact that the Wunder TP'd back to lane and Gimgun kept his TP. That's why we had such a huge CS disparity. Okay, very big for FPX. They get the double kill on Kai'Sa. These are the type of things that when you're playing Yasuo bot lane, you don't want to happen because, you know, if FPX are going to be super strong, Yasuo bot lane only has one way to play, and that is forward because it's a melee champion. You have to get that money, you have to get that CS, and if you're behind on bot, you're gonna get snowballed on super hard because you have to play forward. And now Caps also died. This is looking very grim for G2. This could have been a beautiful fight. Caps get over the wall here, and then you go. And then if you question the whole play in the first place, Gamegun has TP, Akali roamed into bottom because they knew about this TP situation. He just gave up top wave, walked into mid lane. So this was good from G2. They also had prior mid lane, prior bot lane, so they were on the spot first. But Jankos has no smite. They're not sharing. It didn't seem like they were hitting it together for long enough. Let's take a step back. G2, if they just focus it down together, they can work with a lot more time because Jankos loses so much HP here because they're chasing around and looking at bot wave. But I think that's something that you need to give up if you're going for this dragon. Kali was in mid to support Tristana's return, and then you go 3-man into bottom after you finished the Elder. So yeah, I think just G2 just want to do too much. They're so greedy for this bottom wave when in reality they could just hit dragon. That's why I was saying this is good. They're getting something. They're creating action. But just here in this position, the fact that G2 don't hit Nash, don't hit the Drake. Elise is losing too much HP. Elise also doesn't have smite, which makes this super dangerous. And then here on the play, I think Caps needed to flash over the wall and go for Tian here. Because the Gragas E lands and they could have definitely one-shotted him. And it would have been a beauty, honestly. A beauty. Okay, FPX. We talked about Yasuo Gragas bot lane. Only one way. You have to go forward. This Infernal Drake doesn't mean jack shit for the game. So it's these 3 kills are way more impactful than this Infernal Drake. Two assists on Rise is also super helpful. We talked about FPX reaching level 6. Their 2v2 mid lane has a lot of potential now. Kled also reaching Hex Drinker. Is starting to is going to start to do better and better in his matchup because he can itemize MR. Sure, Akali can get Zika's Arm Guard, but the fact that you itemize Black Cleaver is so much easier than the Void Staff, yada, and so forth. You guys hear that? The hell? Okay. FPX. Let's see now how everything changes around mid lane 2v2. If Tristana Elise is going to continue to pressure, Wunder getting traded down super heavily. Oh. Speaking of matchup shifts, that's a shift, man. And this is PTA versus Conqueror. Conqueror not doing jack shit there. Gimgoon, maybe if he flashes better, he's gonna get the kill. Let me hear the caster call of this. I wanna hear Trevor.
One in the kills, compliments of that dragon fight. And FPX again strike first.
Hexring is such a cost-efficient item the moment you get it in these 1v1s. Super, super huge.
How FPX are going to push this lead? Because with a enabled Kai'Sa, maybe a little earlier than anticipated. Kled, Rise, Galio, Kai'Sa, that is terrifying death ball dive style comp. As Gimgoon's going to chase forward using the charge, and he almost
holy shit, man.
How did Wonder survive? He manages.
Holy. If he doesn't get dismounted there, then he's dead. Jesus. Yeah, that's the nature of the matchup, right? Gimgoon saved his TP, kept his TP. Wunder built the lead. Gimgoon got the Hex Drinker, and then the matchup just fucking shifted. Holy moly. Wow. This is looking very iffy for G2. Matchup top already shifted, bottom matchup is boom, and this is enough to save Doinby. Tian and Crisp have Pryons in mid lane. Galio is gonna have the rotation with the Galio ultimate. This is looking very bad for G2. I don't know how they can recover, honestly. I really don't know how they can recover. This is looking like 2-0 FPX. G2 need to do some magic. G2 magic we need. They need to maybe break the game. They need to look to swap. They need to look to do something because this 2v2 mid lane is very rough. Yankos. Oh, Galio ultimate. Okay, this is the best case scenario for G2. They forced a lot of big cooldowns. And this is definitely the best case scenario for G2. They forced some cooldowns and now they have some chances here in the 2v2. Definitely some chances. They still have 2 flashes. Caps use Ignite, but all is good. All is good. All is fine and well. Okay. So now the continuation here from G2 needs to be that they need to continue to pressure through mid. We have a swap that we talked about when it comes to G2. They want to look for a fight around the Rift Turtle, but look at how huge this Kai'Sa is. Humongous what? Humongous what? Absolutely nuts how huge this Kai'Sa is. So if Yasuo can base and maybe finish a static Shiv, then yeah, maybe some fighting power here. Wunder has Conqueror, but he needs to do short trades. All-inning didn't seem to be the way against Kled. And Kled, of course, managed to catch him, so it doesn't help. Mickey chilling in the river. Trying to get Crab, but Tia managed to steal it away. Snag it, even. Kled is hovering into mid lane. Wunder has TP, so if G2 want to contest this, then they need to TP in. LWX is getting all in here. Perks. Trade ult for ult. And LWX has flash. Perks is not doing any flash shenanigans. Both players low. This is positive. Because LWX is so much stronger than Yasuo. So, you know, trading 1-for-1 is good. But it seems like FPX are just going to walk away with the Rift Herald. No problem. They are trading for the Cloud Drake. And this is also super beneficial for FPX. They have 1 minute 20 to impact this game with a Rift Herald. Get those platings. Get that money. Oh no. G2 playing a dangerous game here. G2. What are you doing, G2? This was a conscious decision, G2, to give up topside. My goodness. I didn't know G2 could be sloppier than they were in the SKT series, but it's getting worse here. It's getting worse. G2 need to wake up. Can't do these mistakes against FPX. They will engage on you. FPX give me those Taipei Assassin vibes. In that tournament, they were so good at pulling the trigger, which was very new back in Season 2. Very new. And here, FPX are kind of winning in the same fashion. They're so good at pulling the trigger, so good at finding those beautiful engages all the time and calling G2 on their bullcrap. So yeah, G2 are looking for the fight. That's the combination. Tristana Yasuo, but this Yasuo, this Doinby has cloth armor, is tanky, and this is just oh man, Jesus, what the hell, man. Wundo used TP as well. Gingun used TP, but this is absolute destruction, man. FPX with the 4,000 gold lead with the composition that scales so fucking well. This is oh. Boy. There's still a little room for my prediction to be right, but right now FPX looks like the way better team, and G2 keeps biting themselves in the nuts. Because what on earth was this? Doinby finds it, and then boom, the W. Prey-seeking missile. LWX, 2 items finished, 14 minutes, man. 2 items finished. And it's so insane when you're playing Kaiser because you get your upgrades and all of a sudden you become such an OP champion. It's like this champion works like Kane, you know? It's just you're morphing and you're getting stronger, and the E upgrade and the Q upgrade are just so juicy. When he finishes that Berserker Greaves, Jesus Christ, ding, 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 ding. Doinby now with the armor is good. He's good. He's fine in the 1v1. Tristana's way too far behind. Tristana has lost her vanity. No power on the 1v1. Akali maybe can find something. G2 need to do some David Blaine shit in order to find victory. Some David Blaine shit, honestly. Some fucked up David Blaine shit. Like they need David Copperfield, they need David Blaine, they need all the magicians. All the magicians to do anything. FPX just pushing down mid lane. G2 have very little wave clear on the team composition too, especially if Tristana is showing on the side. Perks can't really walk up on the wave, so FPX can easily just siege. They can play 1-4, they can play 1-3-1, but honestly 1-4 is probably the safest because G2 is going to look to pressure that one lane that is isolated, especially when you don't have TPs. Doinby doesn't have TP, Gimgun doesn't have TP. FPX should just play 4-1, keep it clean and isolated, and make sure that G2 cannot find any picks on side on that one isolated lane. Always when you have a clean macro game, you pressure 2 lanes. It's too hard to pressure 3 lanes. You play 4-1, you commit into contesting one side of the enemy, meaning one quadrant of the enemy, and then the other side you give up on. And because imagine you're in a scenario where 5 G2 players go here, and you want to play 1-3-1. No matter what you have here on top, doesn't matter, G2 is going to have pressure. But you pressure the game because you pressure 2 lanes. You commit into controlling a quadrant because you can play through mid lane. So FPX control through here. Let's say they play 4-1 or 1-3-1. They push through mid, they walk into here, and they contest this space. They contest this space here. They contest this space. If G2 is in fog, the guy on top is not going to be able to farm. So every 1-3-1 is a version of 1-4 as well. It's just that 1-3-1 works very well when the enemy is showing. That's the Ryze ultimate. Caps got caught, but LWX has rank 1 ultimate, so he doesn't have any range here to go. Even if he went, probably wouldn't accomplish too much. G2 have a big issue here. Their composition is kind of wonky, and they needed to find a lot of value in the early game, but instead FPX got a beautiful fight. Caps got caught, and then they got slaughtered. 3 kills. Then we had the next situation, you know, Kaiser just being too fed. We had the swap and then the Rift Herald fight. Just G2 forcing a fight for no freaking reason. You know, I was praising G2's draft, but the early game has never been their strong suit. And this is FPX's strength. And here FPX are taking a page out of what G2 did. FPX definitely scaled super good into this game, and they are just waiting for G2 to commit more mistakes. G2 are trying to make this game as hard as possible, but here Mickey should die. Mickey is dead. G2 need to play a bit on limits, so here I'm a bit more understanding of any potential deaths that might happen, because the game is super difficult for them to play. Okay. This game is just... What do you really do this game? This game is so lost. So lost. So what do you really do if you G2? There's no button you can press to stop making all of these mistakes. FPX is just too clean in terms of how they find fights. And they go for it, they're confident, they're on the same page, and they are not sloppy at all. Crisp had some situations where he got caught, but they really haven't mattered in the grand scheme of things because they pale in comparison to what G2 is doing. Pale. Like super pale. Super pale. Dombey cannot go into bottom, but Gimgun is going to be fine. Kali has Mercury for team fighting, but you know they have these champions that if they're in a state where you're behind, like Yasuo, Tristana, Akali, if you're behind, they are so fucking useless, honestly. The comeback potential is very slim. Unless FPX fuck up big time and they choke, but FPX have been stone cold when it comes to finishing games with leads like this. Against Fnatic, they had a very easy time, and G2, how do they really find entry into this? Nash is gone, Battle comes out, Ryze ultimate, Kled ultimate, so many tools to force fights, and that is Doinby. That's a flash from Yasuo. Alright. Yeah, this game is lost, guys. That's why there's no more comments to make. Like, this game was... After that Rift Herald fight, it was so doomed. It was probably even lost after the Drake. It's just the fact that, you know, Yasuo, Gragas cannot recover if they fall behind. That's why, you know, when G2 played against Yasuo and Gragas, they did so well against it because they what's it called? They found the dive, they managed the wave properly, and Yasuo fell behind, and all of a sudden the game was lost. This game, G2 were pressuring, the Infernal Drake didn't happen, they got greedy for the bot wave, they didn't finish, and then Caps misplayed, could have went for the fight. Kaiser had a 2-0-1 lead with Manamune on the pickaxe into a Zeal. It was just too huge. And I feel like G2 had two good drafts. I think they had two good drafts. FPX matched. It's not like G2 FPX got really outdrafted so hard, but I like the fundamental idea of what G2 wanted to accomplish. They had Elite Tristana for the 2v2 into the Ryze, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work after the Infernal Drake fight, and that's enough. FPX, honestly, any bullshit that G2 tried to kind of pull got answered so heavily by FPX. They popped the Sivir ult. Go. Here they have the go buttons too, with the Kled, with the Galio engage. It's been quite the redemption here for Crisp from the first game. Even in the first game, he didn't play too bad. He just got caught, and that kind of stood out for a little bit. He found some very important hooks, like the Varus hook was super nice too. But G2, they're looking like they're gonna do a Fnatic repeat here. FPX, looking like a 3-0 here. Looking like a 3-0. G2 needs to recover, man. Yo, is that Kirei? That's Kirei, no? No, that's not Kirei. What's up with this, man? Look at this guy, man. I'm a Fnatic fan. I'm bringing my Fnatic flag. Final that they don't play. Oh, man. Like, why? 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 Okay, I'm gonna leave him alone. It's alright. Chinese players always have the most insane keyboards. I'm really jealous of their keyboards. Look at that sign. China is SOAS. China is SOAS. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay. FPX looking quite strong. I should just fast forward. G2 looking quite terrible here in comparison to FPX. SKT was not so impressive as a team, and you would hope that G2 could adjust to an FPX, but the issue is that the lane phase in the early game is too weak from G2, and the mistakes are flying left and right individually and decision making wise, and while G2 consistently find ways to pressure, at least in the previous game, they find pressure through mid lane. There's always something that slips. They drop a plate, boom, everything shatters. And this is, with the edge, with G2 playing always on that edge, it is bound to happen a couple of times, but this has been too many times. Too many times. G2 getting caught left and right. Let's go forward. We're going to the analyst desk, the pause. Yada yada yada. Yada yada yada, yada yada yada, yada yada yada. Everyone looking handsome, everyone looking pretty, very nice. Yada yada yada. Doody doody doody. Fully fully fully. Okay, and we're in. FPX finished national. Now they're pushing bottom. Let's go, baby. LWX buying AP, of course, because he has two AD champions on his team. Keeping that damage mix clean. Here is Galio getting caught, but he's tanky like a motherfucker. Got Ninja Tabi, got that fucking Aftershock, and now FPX are collapsing. Maybe this is the best chance that G2 can get. Crisp is forced to flash out. LWX panic ulting away because he is scared. But this is going to be fine. This is going to be fine. Gimgoon. Honestly, G2 trying to find the best of this situation, but, after they use all their tools to kill Galio, they have nothing left to offer. And that's an ace. That's an ace. That's an ace. That's an ace. So, I taught Mickey and Wunder something very special that I'm sure they're still using. Guys, we don't pressure anything. Let's freestyle. And this is them freestyling. They tried to find the pick. Didn't happen. Game is pretty fucking lost. Here, G2 have no more damage to pull. And then, Mickey body slams the Rise. Maybe here, if he doesn't body slam the Rise, FPX will be in trouble. Okay, G2 kill Tian, but at the price of 2 good men. Oh, Yanko survives. Okay, 1 for 1. Cool. 2 Phantom Dancer finishes. If G2 maybe get 15 Phantom Dancers, maybe it's good enough. Oh, Gimgoon with the stopwatch. G2 really cocktailing this. Really cocktailing this game. They knew this game was a monster lost. I think this is how G2 bounce back mentally. They have some fun. Istana's having fun at the golems as well. Elise is dead. Caps is out. And yeah. Gonna run into a Count Cledula. Oh. Boom. That's the biggest lead of the tournament. Oh. Nice ignite there from Mickey Flex. Wonder, super low HP, but that's the ultimate from LWX. And yeah, let's just go next. Go next fast. Okay. If we judge from these 2 games, 3-0. 3-0. G2 had some good drafts here. Some good drafts. And draft was definitely not an issue. There was a lot of creativity. There was room for activity. The biggest problem here is the Drake fight was a big issue in this game. If you fall behind with this composition, you are fucked. Super, super fucked. And they did. They fell behind, and they fell behind hard. Hard. Super far behind. Game 1. Just people getting caught. Left and right, giving FPX big objectives. So, the trend seems to be G2. Draft something that is strong for the mid to late game. Don't put all your cards into that early game basket. And then transition that into a game where you don't fuck up as many times as you did. But now when you're in the finals, this has been trend for G2 all tournament long. They were getting caught left and right, and people just giggled and laughed it away. This is a fun game, blah, blah, blah. This builds tendencies. This builds, this builds up your nature. This builds a routine for yourself. And if you expect yourself now, you're staring down the barrel of 0-2 to be just, guys, we need to end less, then we're going to win. Is that something that you can just change up that fast? I don't know, Kevin. I don't know. So yeah, FPX looking like the strong favorite. And my prediction still was 3-2. Anything can happen, but it's looking quite grim. Grim. See you guys in the next one. Bless you and bless your face.